everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So let's go ahead and let's begin. Taking a step aside. And allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Slow down, slow down. That is very much the energy that's coming through here. Okay, whoever this message is for, there seems to be this feeling of rush or hurry inside this collective. And there's something here about burning out if we continue at the pace that we're going on. There are seasons and cycles to things, not a race, right? And so this is kind of the energy that's coming through, is that luck's on your side and that you have to have faith in that. You have to trust in that. You have to believe that. You don't necessarily have to rush to the finish line. There seems to be something here that we are rushing towards, and all that we're really going to find once we approach anywhere near what we think we're supposed to be or where we're supposed to go is we're going to be very burned out. With the Orion's Gate, there is this sense of internal reflection. So I'm seeing this almost like the hermit. It feels like pulling back from the world, slowing down whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish, whether it's in the 3D or if it's inside of ourselves, mentally or spiritually. In this rush to get things done, to do things, to accomplish something, we haven't necessarily been taking care of our body, and that's coming through with sacred earth here. And so tending to our roots, right? We can only be replenished with the energy that we need when we take care of those root matters. So, for example, eating the right foods, getting enough sleep, even going out in nature and grounding is important for some of you. Really taking time to yourself is going to be very important for whoever this message is for. I feel almost that whoever this message is for, there's also this building sense of momentum, which is making it harder to slow down. In this momentum, though, if you really pay attention, there's a little bit of an unraveling that's taking place. We're starting to unravel at certain edges, or certain endeavors are starting to fall by the wayside. So this is how you're going to know that you need to slow down, whoever this message is for. Okay. I feel that for many of you, there is this sense of being a stranger in a strange land. So maybe you are on a course that nobody has ever been on before, that you don't know of anyone being on. You may be doing something very different, or you may be receiving information, for example, about your path that's extremely different, that's taking you into an area where you're not sure that other people have actually traversed. The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm seeing this right here. Down here, there's a figure. And I don't know what that is, but I'm almost seeing it like this very stark, shadowy pilgrim, like a Puritan. And we may be traversing spaces or land, or might have even gotten ourselves into a situation that's very foreign to us. And this may be why we're trying to rush through it, or we're trying to get to the finish line in some sense. The time period of winter feels very important for whoever this message is resonating for. And the reason why is because the Orion constellation is seen best from the northern hemisphere, which is the hemisphere I'm in, which is why it's symbolic for me of winter. It's seen best in winter. And I'm also looking at the landscape inside this card. There's no leaves. Everything is kind of stripped bare. It almost has that feeling of late November, early December. So whoever this message is for, there may be a need to take some time out and understand that you still have time. everything is going to happen in divine timing. It's not something that can be rushed, right? Let's see. Wait, I'm hearing not yet. That's next. Okay. We have vanishing mirror, ego sublimation. One of the things that may be taking place in this energy, in this context, I'm feeling it kind of like we have broken through certain barriers for ourselves, and this is why it feels like there's momentum. The problem with it is that there needs to be an integration that fully takes place before we can continue on. Otherwise, what happens is not only do we burn out because the actual energy that should be flowing through us or should be channeling through us isn't available to us because we haven't integrated the threads of that energy, but we're also not going to get it. We're not going to get the point. And then what's going to happen is we're going to find ourselves back in some sort of cycle so that we relearn it again. So if this is something that you want to accomplish, whether again it's internal or external, and it's something that you want done right, discern if you are in fact unraveling at the edges, if certain things are going by the wayside. So for example, if you are somebody who you're trying to work a lot because you're trying to save, it's funny, I'm a Capricorn, I always go to the work first, don't I? If you're trying to work a lot and you're trying to save for a home, for example, but you're working a lot of extra hours and so your family's starting to feel neglected, this is a good time to pay attention to that. If you're, just got into a relationship and it's moving really quickly and you're noticing that other things that you need to do for yourself are falling by the wayside, this is a good time to kind of like slow down a little bit. If you are someone who is on a spiritual journey and you're having rapid fire realizations, understand that if you keep forcing ahead, you won't have the proper time to integrate. And what you're going to find anyway when that happens is that the information is going to slow down. So here, this is about, who is the one that's driving at the wheel? Is it something inside of our ego that's driving us to hurry? Or is it, do we really have our own best intention in mind, right? Because here with Sacred Earth, it's almost like we're forgetting something about our humanity. We're forgetting something about our own basic survival and our own basic needs here. It's quite possible that the reason why this is all happening is because here, Moon Maiden, new beginnings. We may have gotten a taste of something or just gotten like a glimpse of something. And so this is what is like tempting us to go further and go faster. And the message is to slow down, right? To pull back just a little bit and slow down and allow yourself time to process, time to integrate. There's also things that are trying to heal for someone. And by healing, what I mean is that the process is causing certain things to bubble up and it's not able to because we have this band-aid of speed on top of it. So in constantly directing our focus in this one particular area, we're not able to really access what's actually taking place internally. And so slowing down and allowing ourselves to have that process is really going to help that our internal self, right? Our true self, to kind of like go through this process in a more healthy way, in a more sustainable manner. Okay. Yeah, so Lascona is very much trying to, I guess I gotta put it there, okay. Lascona is trying to very much take stock of her priorities. Her priorities have changed. The problem is that since her priorities have changed very quickly, there may be things that are not necessarily wrapping up in the way that would be most appropriate for her. Sometimes things have a way of coming back to bite us in the butts, right? So just be mindful of that. There's things that you're needing to wrap up because of this. Again, we have the Spirit Dancer, and the Spirit Dancer is very much about that free flow of creativity, and running with it is kind of her message. So if we have been running with it, just know that you're not really able to see where you're going until you've integrated that information. If we look at her, you can see her head is face down. She can't see where she's going. She's just kind of getting carried. So someone here, you may be getting carried away in a process. Yeah, and an integration has to happen. That's the message of the singer of connection. These two worlds have to meet and merge and become one before she can look up and see where she's going, before Luskona is safe to leave that toadstool and change her priorities all the way. So again, we have the Maiden on the beginning. So we have two Maiden cards. We have Moon Maiden, and then we have the Maiden. Yep. So these two cards are going together. We have align the call. What is your soul calling to do? Calling you to do? And so someone here, you're answering that. You're you know, running with it. Or for some of you, you may be going in a direction that deep down inside you may know that this is not necessarily the right course. It's just that this is where the movement's happening. So you're going with it. So you have to discern for yourself which one it is for you, if this is in fact your reading. But if I read these two together, for the person who's kind of full steam ahead because you know that this is the direction you're supposed to be in, align your life is on the bottom, which is about stacking the parts of ourself so that they make a whole. This card says what is not aligned or needs to change. For me, it's not about what needs to change or what needs aligned for the context of this reading. It's about the card it's sitting next to, which is the Singer of Connection. It's about merging and integrating before we proceed so that we have good footing. What happens sometimes when we go so fast, especially if this is like, for example, information downloads, what happens when we go so fast before we fully integrated the information is that now we start going off trajectory. And the reason why is because until we fully integrate the information, we might have a like an intellectual understanding of something, but we don't have the full experiential change that happens when we fully integrate something inside of ourselves. For example, a good example of this would be the actual attainment or enlightenment when you have had moments of samadhi, right? So the moments of samadhi or the moments of oneness are great, they're beautiful, but until that experience fully integrates inside the fiber of our being, we haven't necessarily reached a certain level of attainment. So this is kind of what this message is saying, is that someone is really going fast and you're being asked to slow down a little bit and tend to your human needs, right? To tend to your body, maybe tend to your home, maybe your family, maybe your work. There's something here that's kind of suffering due to the speed that you're taking, and you're also not giving yourself time to integrate things so that the lessons and the information, I should say, not lessons, so that the information can be truly learned. And you run the risk of burning out and going off course if you continue to go too quickly. So I love that there is this momentum and this motivation to go quick, because what it means is that somebody is making some serious progress inside their life. They're making some serious headway. And again, whether this is in the 3D or if this is internal to yourself, this is big, right? This is beautiful. And I'm almost seeing like a phoenix off on the side of this, where it seems to be giving somebody like this renewed sense of hope, a renewed sense of life. But just make sure that you allow it to grow in its natural pace rather than trying to force it ahead, so that it can be what it's meant to be. I'm going to leave this here, so whoever this message is for, if this resonates for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment, and until next time.